And welcome to another Too Tall Toby drawing in Alibre. This one is his 24WC19 duck bracket. This one looks like it's got some pretty interesting geometry going on here. We've got a triangular base at 105 degrees. Got a protrusion out the front here with a notch cut into it. There's a, looks like it's 11 millimeters on each side. Depth of 40 with 8 millimeter radii. Got the central boss with a hole through it. So this, oh yeah, and then we got a couple of ribs on here too that are going to be kind of interesting. Ribs in Alibre are always a bit of a challenge to get those to come out right. So let's see how this one turns out. So I'll start a drawing sketch on our ZX plane here. Get a line started here, and we'll do a let's see, we'll come up something like this here, and then we have a fillet on those corners is at 22, looks like. So we'll pre-select that corner and get fillet at 22. And it looks like our sketch is not big enough. So let's drag this out here and this down here. And let's see what this does. Okay. Now let's do this midpoint constraint thing to center up our fillets on here. There we go. And this is going to be centered also. Or let's do this. We'll make this line and this line equal. And our dimensions between these two arcs are going to be 155. And then from the origin to this line is going to be 88. And the angle is 105. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? We've got to make this line vertical. And let's see, let's put this line here on the origin. So we'll do a coincident constraint to the origin there, and that locks that down. And then let's go ahead and extrude that to a height of 20. Okay. And we'll start another circle on the ZX plane. And this is going to be our central boss at a diameter of 70. And we'll extrude that to a height of 100. And then get one more thing. We're going to get this shape here put on here. We're going to have a rectangle sketched in there so we can get that drawn. And that rectangle is going to be 55. And so let's get that on the XY plane. And it's going to be horizontal. Get a dimension here. This is going to be total height of 55. And it's going to be 22 wide based on our front plane. Actually, I think I'm going to change my sketch here. This has got to have a radius on the front, so in order to make that a little bit easier to draw, let me get rid of this. We'll get out of this sketch. We're going to start a sketch on the ZX plane, and we're going to actually use our slot tool, and we'll make this coincident there and make this horizontal, and this dimension here is going to be 22, and this dimension is 80. There we go. And now we can extrude this up 55. There, that's more like it. Now, on the XY plane, now we can put a rectangle in here. And we're going to dimension this from that bottom 11, and from this top line to the top of that curve another 11, and we'll make this a line there, vertical on those two nodes, and the depth of this notch is going to be 40, so we can extrude this through all. Okay, and while we're here, let's throw a fillet in here. Fillet rib is going to be 8 on this edge and on this edge. Not the face, the edge. Edge and edge. There we go. All right. Now that we've got that done, we've got to do another sketch on this face. And we're going to grab our slot tool again. And we're going to make this parallel to this edge and concentric to that fillet, and that's going to be a through hole. So this is going to be a width of 14 and a length of 33, and we'll just punch that all the way through. And then again on this same surface, the other slot, and we'll make these nodes coincident to this, or concentric to this previous slot, and that dimension width wise is going to be 26, and that's going to be extrude cut to a depth of 9. So, okay, and then we can mirror these two across the XY plane to the other side, and that completes that. Okay, now let's put another circle. Actually, let's do this. Let's come back here to this extrusion on this sketch. Edit this and put a circle in here, and this circle is going to be 16, and roll this through there, and that puts our hole in there. Okay, now before we punch this center hole in here, I'm going to put in these ribs. So on our XY plane, get a line started here. We're going to come in here, horizontal, up and down. And we also have one up here on this piece. So we'll just sketch them both at the same time. And this horizontal, let me go linear to that top surface. And this will be collinear to this surface. And then I've got a coincident between this end node and that node. Now I picked this arc so I could get that end node out here rather than picking a line, which wouldn't give me a line or a node to constrain to. Okay, the next is going to be an angle of 55 on this side. And this one also is going to be 55. And this line is vertical. And then we're going to make this node coincident to that top edge there. And this one here, we'll just come in here, we'll make this coincident to that. And we have one more dimension in here. We have to do a dimension from this node here to the central axis of 55. Okay, and now we can extrude that mid-plane to a width or depth of 12. And that gives us our two ribs. Okay, and then finally, one more circle on the ZX plane. And that's going to be in our origin. And that's going to be the hole through the center of a diameter of 44. And extrude through all. Okay. Now, let's put some material on here. And material is going to be 1060 aluminum. And if we go to physical properties and calculate that, we have to be within 2 degrees or 2 grams. And we're looking for 1492. And that's what we've got, 1492. Okay. So that completes another one of Too Tall Toby's. This one's a tier 5 part. So a little more complex or complicated, but looks like it turned out okay. So see you in the next video.